This is what I'm talking about, Princess Connect. I know you can go dark and twisted and more mature like the past couple of episodes, but I'm not gonna lie. When you show me a degenerate character like this who is just, so into her kinks that she openly is basically being shunned by even her own little guild here. And of all the characters who could take care of this perversion, the fact that we have emotionless Yuuki who, he's been shown more memories, more serious plot lines, but, at the end of the day, he doesn't have that much of a personality because he's still kind of remembering who he was. And to have this request be kind of brought to him being there's some weird shit going on, that there's this back alley doctor, he gets these PTSD flashbacks, and the fact that he discovers her with all of these erotic magazines. The fact that we get these glorious reactions from him as he's basically trying to burn, rip, and destroy this girl's dream. It's almost like just a disappointed parent being like, I understand I can't change you, but do you have to do this in public? Can you please just lock yourself away when you're gonna be perverted like this? The first 5 minutes of this episode, I might go as far to say, might be my favorite, ridiculous comedy moment of the series today. And this isn't just, recency bias, where, just because something's more recent, it's, more front and center in your mind. It's just this type of sexual humor, it just clicks with me, and with Yuuki being of all the characters to deal with this perversion, you can't tell me that ain't absolute comedy gold. But they actually sprinkled in an interesting kind of quest in the episode while dealing with this kind of dysfunctional group, because you have the leader of them, Monica, who pretty much I felt bad for immediately because you could just tell she was with a bundle of idiots. You have way too perverted character who should be in a hentai, someone who gives Megami a run for her money with explosions, and someone who probably spends too long looking at herself in the mirror, as they are responsible for blowing up the bridge and needing to repair it, or at the very least, make the money for the repairs, and they just ain't doing what they should. And I absolutely love just the remarks that can come from some of them, I want to be dirtier, or at one point we see her pulling her party out of, the mouth of this beast, and we're talking about how she loves being covered in the stomach acid of it. I'm like, there's kinks. And then there's whatever the hell this is. And it was so great to see how they tied it together with them and also this, possessed suit of armor. So we have the captain of this, army who basically is kind of being painted as, the one going on a rampage. Was she cursed? Did she die and possess this? And then we clearly see, no, it's not. But I wasn't sure exactly how this suit of armor was moving with someone probably not actually inside. And then when they casually reveal the kind of possessed toy, it's just a little monkey with symbols. And the fact that it's moving and doing its things on its own, as they're trying to use that to make a mad stack of cash, because if you can make a bunch of, alive acting toys, you're going to be able to repair the bridge and then some. And then the kind of, explosion that then sucks in every which life around them, as then you reveal that that goo is basically what's actually been possessing the armor, as then you get, once again, another well-animated fight scene. Sure, it doesn't quite compare to what we experienced in the last couple of weeks, but Princess Connect has always had drop-dead gorgeous fight scenes every single time. And it doesn't matter when the last time we saw a fight scene, the next fight scene is going to be just as refined and polished, just in a different way. And from the explosions to the goo kind of scattering all which around, and then probably one of the best saves in anime in recent memory, since they're all trapped in the stomach, and they throw a beer bottle or a wine bottle and they pull them out kind of tug of war style. And I'm like, what in the actual hell did we just witness in this episode? We basically kick it off with, Yuuki having to deal with a perverted girl just way too beyond her wildest imaginations, to ending with a giant slime monster possessing a suit of armor, and, Yuuki having to deal with his PTSD about going into that hospital and not wanting anyone else to deal with the bullshit that he did. This is absolutely hilarious, and I think one of the funnier moments outside of the perversion was just how, the leader of these band of misfits couldn't even go get her misfit because she looks like a child and, she's not able to go into, a bar or anywhere else, and the only places that she's actually allowed in or is welcomed almost kind of shoot in is toy stores, and how mad she gets at the end talking about once I get my growth spurt, that's when I'll investigate all these different places. Absolutely fantastic, while just continuing to flex that Princess Connect is so good at what it does. These mobile game adaptations just really becoming its own thing rather than just trying to be a commercial. it really does sell you on this being a story, ridiculous Konosuba-like comedy to mature, like, holy shit, where's the mystery going? It has a little bit of everything, and goddamn does it work so well no matter which style it's trying to be. There's something that I really appreciate in this episode, which I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned in videos, is I love the overall character designs for these characters, because they don't go like super overly sexual or overly bland. They kind of strike that nice middle ground, and no matter what character's on the screen, you always get a distinct personality from their wardrobe, right? You can tell, like, oh, this is a character you would roll for in the game, because, one, they look interesting, and honestly, it doesn't feel like they're just there to basically be a pretty face and not have a personality. And I love how the anime uses that to its advantage to show you different signs. Like, I mean, just look at the captain's kind of guard there, you know, trying to fight off and basically trying to kill who they thought was the captain. But then you get the realization that, based on the subtle remarks of the vice captain, at least one of them was pretty sure it wasn't actually her. I love how they can explore personalities both on a visual and also written level with the dialogue with these amazing voice actors, while simultaneously just saying, like, I get why people might actually spend money on this game, because unlike a lot of games which makes you try to roll for their characters, it honestly feels like these characters actually feel worth rolling for. They're not just the same cardboard cutout that you've seen in every other gacha game out there, and the fact that the anime makes them feel like a good character first and foremost, this shit's just awesome. I mean, you never quite know what you're gonna get with Princess Connect. I was pretty sure we were gonna get something pretty simple this week, just given the fact that you don't have 2 weeks of pretty emotional, heavy, and draining backstory and foreshadowing and theories go on, and not have something like the first episode of Season 2 kick off. I just wasn't expecting degenerate comedy, and I hope this isn't the last time we see of it, because that shit is some of my favorite comedy design. Not gonna be for everyone, no comedy is, but this shit just spoke to me. It was badass, it was hilarious, and honestly, it was just great to see new and old characters alike flex what they can offer for this story. And this world, whether you love certain aspects or hate it, there's one thing I think most people can agree. It is a world with full of personality, it's diverse, and it really does have a lot to offer. I think it'll be really fun, because I doubt this is going to be the last time we have serious stuff in this season, but I imagine they're probably going to do a similar thing that they did at the beginning of this season, very much ease into the next big kind of emotional, dark, or mature subject matter. So it'll be fun to see if, like, maybe we'll get a couple more episodes of just kind of goofy fun or just situational questing, and then just bombard us with something like the past couple of episodes. Either way, Princess Connect, I loved Season 1, I thought it was a great binge, but honestly, Season 2 is in a league of its own with everything that it's doing, from the funny to the serious, to even the cooking and bringing a tea to a girl who just, you know, had a hard-ass week, all things considered. I love Princess Connect. I'm so glad to be covering it with Season 2 now that I'm officially caught up with it. Thoughts and feelings, favorite moment, what did you think of all the wild new personalities? Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here. Until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.